Hey guys, what's up? This is Insanity. Got a gameplay of Black Ops Cold War on PC. This is a 30-10 TDM game with the pre-Dark Aether camo M16, and this was a really competitive match. The opposition were competent and they initially had the lead, but I managed to get my score streaks to turn the tide, and my team ended up winning in the end, though we still needed to put up a good fight. So I'd say this is a pretty good game, and for S3MM to throw me a more competitive match my way, I don't think I could have asked for a better result, even if 10 deaths was a bit much, but I definitely would not have kept this game if I didn't get 30 kills minimum, even for commentary fodder purposes. Anyway, I thought I'd do this commentary on Sonic the Hedgehog the movie, especially after seeing the Sonic 2 trailer online when it was initially released, and then seeing it again as one of the trailers playing before my screening of Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm looking forward to a sequel, which is seemingly featuring a lot more of the game lore, including emeralds, tails, Knuckles being tricked and used by Robotnik to fight Sonic, and Robotnik having his overall look from the games. I can't say I'm a Sonic fan or a devoted follower of Sonic stuff, but I'm pretty familiar with a lot of his games. I think the first game I ever played in a Sonic series was Sonic CD at a relative's house, but I don't think I played it enough to remember exactly what I thought of it. The next game I was exposed to but never played was Sonic Adventure on a Dreamcast, and I did buy the Steam version of it a long time ago, so maybe I'll get to playing that sometime later. The first full game I actually played in its entirety was Sonic Battle on a GBA, and then I think that the rest of my Sonic exposure were mostly the spin-offs and side appearances. Smash Brothers, Sonic Rivals, Sega All-Stars Racing, and Team Sonic Racing. Sonic Generations may be the only proper Sonic Adventure type experience I had, but like Sonic CD, I have not really played it much. So overall, I'd say I'm a casual enjoyer of Sonic stuff at best. That being said, when it comes to the first movie for Sonic, although I had some exposure to its production, especially with Sonic's infamous design that he had initially before they listened to fans and actually changed it and gave him a redesign that made him look more faithful to the games, I was still reluctant to watch it regardless. It wouldn't be until I ended up visiting my relatives over at LA and noticing that Sonic was one of the in-flight movies available that I did take notice and decided to give it a watch. I actually watched about the first third of the movie with no audio, as I didn't have any earphones or headphones at the time, and I'm pretty sure that all airlines no longer offer free headphones for use, since COVID will make them think twice about reusable headphones, so I had to turn on subtitles and watch a silent film, essentially. My return flight had me rocking out the earphones I got from relatives, so I rewatched the movie from the beginning, and luckily I only began watching Sonic as my flight was nearly arriving at LA, so I didn't need to rewatch too much of the movie. But I definitely enjoyed watching Sonic the Hedgehog, and my criticisms of it are only due to the fact that it's a glorified origin story that does not use much of Sonic's game lore, which is more of a nitpick than anything. This is basically a Sonic and Robotnik origin story movie, where they aren't their iconic gaming selves until at the end, and there's a bunch of human characters who are not from the games. It's like the complaints about the big Transformers movies focusing too much on human characters instead of on the robots. Obviously, video game movies are a hard sell on a big screen. They still have yet to crack the formula, despite there being a bunch of movie adaptations of video game properties already. And for Sonic specifically, since this is the very first live-action movie of him, understandably, they didn't want to throw in too much of the game lore when Sonic is unexplored territory, and there was no guarantee that he'd get a movie sequel, much less a positive response, especially as the movie was released in 2020 with the pandemic underway. So the most they could really do was surround Sonic with a reasonable human cast and have Jim Carrey doing Jim Carrey things as Robotnik. The movie felt incredibly old school, like watching a movie from the 90s or early 2000s, but I don't think this was a bad thing, and the throwback feel probably helped in its favor. Sonic is the poster boy for a mascot of attitude, but this movie presents him as someone who's lonely and wants to have friends, so he's a pretty likable character, and he's more fun-loving and heroic than I remember from the games. Of course, he still keeps his snarky attitude, especially towards Robotnik, and Jim Carrey, on the other end, also makes this movie fun to watch. I think the only movie in its entirety that I've seen Jim Carrey in was The Mask, and that was a really, really long time ago. but I still am reminded of him every now and then when I go online and find other things he was in, such as in Dumb and Dumber and SNL sketches. If I'm not mistaken, this isn't Jim Carrey's first rodeo as a villainous character, since he was also the Riddler from the old Batman movies, but I found him pretty menacing here as Robotnik. Anytime he's in a room with someone who isn't his lone assistant, Agent Stone, he quickly makes these surroundings very uncomfortable for them. Of course, as it's Jim Carrey, he gets plenty of funny moments as well, and he's pretty quotable, and someone summed up the Where Evil Grows dance scene quite aptly, as Jim Carrey does Jim Carrey things for 2 minutes. I enjoyed 2 action scenes from this movie, which were the Quicksilver-inspired scene in the bar from Days of Future Past, and Sonic's confrontation with Robotnik at the end. Overall, Sonic 1 was a pleasant surprise. It's certainly not a greatest of all time kind of movie, but it's enjoyable for what it is, and now a sequel can really step it up in terms of bringing in more of the game lore and elements, plus the action looks to be a step up as well. It's really unfortunate that 2022 is packed with lots of movies I'm looking forward to watching, because Omicron and whatever COVID variants popping up are still going to make their growing problematic. I can only hope that they aren't too big of a deal by the time Sonic 2 comes out. So for this movie, Sonic 1, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. That's the gameplay and commentary. Hope you enjoyed it, and Insanity is out.